Howdy folks, welcome back to Nuclear Option. Today I'll be doing a bit of a showcase on just what you can do when you join a new server and exactly how you can make the most profit in terms of points for yourself or your team. We'll be using our trusty compass as usual. Can you spot the difference between these two images? I'll leave them on screen for a second while you absorb the beauty of the aircraft, and then I'll list the weapons that we're going to be opening with shortly. This game has pretty good modding support, which is actually how you end up with these kind of weird skins, directly from Steam Workshop. So let me just superimpose the two images on here. Wow, a gun! The compass is pretty unique because at the moment it's one of the only aircraft that actually allows you to deselect the gun, which is what we won't be doing. What we will be doing though is bringing 12 AGM-48s along with us. This is a short-range, fire-and-forget, optically guided missile, designed mostly for ground targets, although you can get lucky and hit a slow-moving helicopter now and then. You'll see where we use them as we go along. Now, for self-defense, we'll be carrying two MMR S3 short-range infrared guided missiles, and we'll be treating those like a health potion in a Bethesda game and basically never using them unless we really have to. We'll be leveraging a lot off the fact that we're carrying 64 infrared flares. Balancing this with the engine heat will be critical. So at the top of your screen right now, you'll see the loadout that we're going in with. This is for you to essentially copy. Also, don't forget to reduce your fuel load. Running 100% fuel on a compass is just a bad idea because it really slows you down. It also has no afterburner, so realistically there's no reason for us to carry that amount of fuel anyway. So now that you know what we're using, let's actually jump into a game and get to use it. So this is a brand new game that I'm joining. You'll see on this map screen, you can actually see it's about 15 seconds into the round already. I'll freeze frame that here so that you can see what I'm talking about. In the background, I'm just selecting our best practice loadout, which we've just gone through.
This is Thunderhead. Approaching enemy formation confirmed. War Dog, engage them.
Alright, thank you, motivational AWACS. I've noticed the compass at a taxi speed really only likes to turn at less than 60 kilometers an hour. Anything more than that and you're typically digging your nose or your wing into the ground, which is just a bad idea. Most of the in-game voices that you hear are actually part of a mod pack that I've installed to basically give you a weapons systems officer so you can enjoy some fun combat noise. So we've just taken off from the Dust Bowl highway strip and we're gonna head north. You might be tempted originally to try and get a free plane like a cricket at the start of the round, but it's just not worth it. Spend the extra cash, get something that you can actually do some damage with. So the reason we're heading north here is because there's an AA unit which we can't see yet. It's not marked on the map, but it likes to spawn here at the start of a round. So situational awareness is key, which is why you'll see me keep low and keep looking at the map. That looks like a missile heading towards us.
Warning, you're being
Right on
spiked
cue.
by enemy radar.
We can basically just dodge this by flying a bit lower, getting the hill in between us and a missile. But this guy over here, no such luck. So we're going to have to fly in as fast as possible, cut thrust, fire flares, and loose a missile.
Warning, inbound missile.
That second missile was actually from a tarantula, so I'm just going to bank to the left to try and get out of its line of sight. It looks like that first AGM didn't connect, so I'm going to pull around to the right, let go of another one, and then let's make a move onto this tarantula. I'm coming in at an angle here, simply so that the tarantula can't fire at me with its main gun, while I can get some good shots onto it. These things are bullet sponges, so I'm just going to let it hit the ground and then get out of there. Gun kills make me happy. Alright, there is another SAM launcher up ahead, so we're going to use this handy hill for some cover. Select it as a target, select your AGMs, and fly over the hill as fast as possible and release a missile. Right now he seems distracted by a missile, so all I have to do is worry about this incoming radar guided, which is an easy dodge behind the hill. There's some convoys to the right, as you can see moving on the minimap. These typically come with 1 or 2 AA units, but it looks like someone else has already dealt with them at this point in the round. So we're going to turn north and head towards their vehicle depots, where I know for a fact there is an infrared SAM launcher and a self-propelled AA gun, which we're going to take care of.
Warning, the enemy
The AA gun is immediately going to start tracking and firing at either ourselves or the missile, so best to make them two separate targets. And immediately we've hit rank 2. Unfortunately, we've just been locked on, and this missile is actually covered by my canopy, so I don't see it coming. And oof. I was trying to use the hill for cover to conserve flares, but I honestly just didn't see that missile had line of sight on me, and sometimes that's just how it goes. So this was a pretty good outcome. We managed to destroy most of the enemy AA, and now we need to go in for round 2, basically to destroy their vehicle depots and factories to give our creeps the advantage. Ideally, we want our tanks to get into their base and capture it. So we are now rank 2, but we are still going to take a compass. We're going to swap out the inner wing pylons for some PAB 80s, which are long-range glide bombs.
Wardog Squadron, this is AWACS Thunderhead.
Thanks, AWACS. So these glide bombs seem to be a little bit buggy at the moment. What I've noticed, especially when you select multiple targets and approach from a weird angle, sometimes you'll see that the targeting computer can't always seem to gauge what you're trying to connect at. Other than that, they are pretty easy to use. Why are we using them though? Well, the answer is simple. We need to go and hit some larger targets, typically factories and vehicle depots. They are also a lot better at destroying main battle tanks compared to the AGM-48, which sometimes just bounces off their armor. The PAB 80s are great because they don't need too much care when you're aiming them, because they do have wings, they do have steering mechanisms, unlike the larger bombs which need a bit more accuracy. These two units that we're approaching are essentially just trucks with machine guns, but if you fly low enough, even trucks with machine guns can help shoot you down. Every ground unit, depending on type, has its own icon, which will be displayed in your heads-up display. I'll flash those on the screen now so you can take note of the most important or dangerous ones, which will most likely be the ones shooting you down. Pop them up on the screen right now. By playing around with the HUD tab on the left of your map, you can actually filter what units get shown to you on your heads-up display. As a reminder of our loadout, we're carrying 6 glide bombs and 6 AGM-48s, so depending on what target we're going for, we'll be alternating between them. I'm putting myself in a bit of a bad situation here by flying a bit too high, exactly as the case by being shot at. The reason we're doing this is simply so I can get line of sight, watch the camera pod at the bottom. As soon as I get full line of sight, I'm going to drop the 2 glide bombs just to make sure they hit correctly. And with no time to think, we need to quickly lock on to an infrared launcher, send a missile after him, lock onto an AA gun, send 2 missiles after him. If the SAM launcher is already shooting at us, it typically doesn't have time to contact switch onto our rocket, so it can't really defend itself, so 1 missile's enough. But the AA guns typically have much faster tracking rates, so they're able to shoot down a missile even if they've been shooting at you first. We are now rank 3. I did just drop the last 2 glide bombs onto a vehicle depot back there, and we've got 1 more SAM launcher to deal with. Notice how it seems to track the missile that we fired at it rather than us.
Warning, the enemy's locked onto you.
That's the last of their close-range air defenses for this airbase, and what we're being targeted by now is essentially a long-range Ram 45 launcher. This is radar guided, so I'm going to try and keep my height under 20 meters to avoid it from tracking me further. But I see a really easy target in the form of a cricket, so I'm going to go after it. Another easy gun kill. But enough about that, we're running out of time to dodge these missiles, so I'm going to align and use the jump. There we go, they missed me quite handily. Always make sure you change your direction of movement after using them. These MBTs are worth a lot of points and usually hard to kill. Because they're facing their backs towards me, I can launch a AGM-48 at each of them. And the AGM-48 actually does enough damage from the back of a tank to outright destroy it, which is why you see I got those kills there. This is exactly why you don't want to be flying a cricket, because any compass with a gun can come along and touch you once or twice and you're gone. Thank you. Things are looking pretty good right now. We've cleared out most of the front line, so I'm going to be opportunistic and see what else I can kill using the gun. We have nothing left at this point other than our 2 S3s as well as our main gun, so might as well do some damage and then start heading back to the airfield for a resupply. Let's see, I'm taking shots. Pretty sure my left wing just clipped the terrain then as well, but hey, the compass takes it and keeps on going. We are on fire at the moment. You'll notice that we have a right engine fire, so I'm going to throttle back to around 0 or 1%. And try and get as much air through that engine as I can to try and put that fire out.
Hello? This is your captain speaking. There is absolutely no cause for alarm.
When you're running on one engine, speed is life at this point. So we're going to try and keep our speed up as high as possible while also trying to put the fire out. I have gained a little bit of height here, but honestly at this point we're about to stall because we're running off thrust from approximately half an engine. So I need to throttle up just to stay in the air and hope the fire goes out.
The wings are not
I am
on
pretty
fire.
confident that if the fire goes out we can get back to the base and claim our successful sortie bonus. So let's just see what happens. I'm missing the nose as well. That's alright. The compass doesn't have radar anyway. There we go. The other fire is now out. What I am doing though is I am only running off the left engine, so our speed is greatly reduced. I'm pretty sure the left engine is as well slightly damaged. There's unfortunately no way for me to check as the plane's computers are blue screened. So we're just going to limp back to base and claim our successful sortie bonus. There's no harm in doing this. In fact, it just gives you the benefit of being able to keep your airframe, get a little bit of money back from rearm and refuel, as well as getting more XP for a higher level to unlock those higher level planes at the start of a round. So we're about 2 kilometers away from the airfield, and as long as nothing else goes wrong, we should be able to land quite handily.
Left engine fire.
And speak of the devil, there you go. The left engine is now on fire. Great. Fortunately, we're about to land.
Warning! You're being
And
spiked
someone
by
shot a
enemy
missile at us.
radar.
Again, fortunately, we are about to land. Let's try and pull up at the last second, just so we don't slam our landing gear into the ground too heavily. And yes, it turns out we are in fact on fire. But fortunately, we are on the runway. So as long as we come to a complete stop and bail out successfully, this completes our mission. And there we have it, a successful sortie. I would classify that as a crash, but the game still gives us points. And there you have it, rank 4 in about 10 minutes. It's really not that difficult, especially when you have a plane like the Compass to do it in. I'm thinking, given the nature of how often I get shot at, it might be worthwhile actually just making a video about what the kind of missiles are that can take you down and how to dodge them. If anyone else thinks that might be useful, let me know. It would also be much appreciated if you could hit the like and subscribe button and maybe drive some comment engagement about why my video is so bad. Otherwise, thank you and happy flying.
Splash one! Splash one! Target hit!
I'm so low on flares already, this is not good.